is back.
What's up, baby?
Off the DL with the knee injury there. He's doing great. Greg is ready to go. CJ is going to knock down some threes for us. Brian Windhorst has a lot to say. Were you up late last night? He's got a lot of thoughts on Game 3 NBA Finals. Here we go. Last night on ABC, no Kristaps Porzingis was at the opening Dallas would need to get back in the series. Well, Drea, all day yesterday, we begged Kyrie, be more aggressive offensively, and he was.
All eyes were on Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie delivered. 35 points. He was efficient. He was aggressive. He started out the game hot.
Particularly early, JWill knocking him down from deep.
Yeah, and they have to get up on those high pick and rolls. You can't allow them with any kind of downhill turn because he can shoot it off the dribble once again.
20 of those points came in the first half last night, and Patrick Mahomes there, and he loved it. But final minute of the half, Jason Tatum going to put this one up and in. We got ourselves a ball game. It's a 1-point game at halftime. Now, 7 minutes in the third. JWill, how about the ball movement from Boston here?
Yeah, Boston just found themselves in the rhythm. 20-plus assists in this ball game, and that's how they are offensively. And then this is who they are defensively, Derek White. Give me that.
And stay with the play. We're going the other way, and it's Jason Tatum for the finish. Celtics up 10. At that point, their largest lead of the game. And then, everybody, just feast your eyes. Come here. Oh, that's Jaylen Brown ready for liftoff.
Nasty. That's nasty work, Jaylen Brown. His athleticism, just ridiculous. Yeah, Jason Tatum.
He sees it.
That was all of us.
15-point margin going to the fourth. It'd be as many as 21, but Dallas hanging in there. Luka finding Josh Green. It's a 10-0 run. It's an 11-point game. Oh, Emmitt Smith is there. Cowboys royalty is in the house. 7 minutes to go. Mavs down 9. P.J. Washington. Drea, they're right back in it.
And they needed P.J. Washington to hit threes. He stepped up, made big shots. Down 21, the Mavericks fought back.
But now here's your ball game. This is the fifth foul on Luka Doncic.
They should have challenged that.
That's not a foul.
I thought they should have challenged that one.
Yeah,
that's the one they should have challenged there. It's his fifth foul, and then here's the moment that all but seals it. That's the sixth. Dre, is it a good call?
Yes, it's a good call. That wasn't a charge. That's a block.
Agreed.
That is a block. Yes, it was the right call.
By the way, shout out to Jaylen Brown for dropping the last 2 times to bait the refs to make that call.
This one they do challenge. It is not upheld. Excuse me, the call is upheld. The challenge is no good. Luka's night was done. 4 minutes to go. Kyrie trying desperately to keep his team in it. He would finish with 35. It's a 1-point game. Now back and forth we go. How about the power, JWill, from Jason Tatum in traffic?
I mean, this is what you want from Jason Tatum. You want him to be aggressive. You want him to finish through traffic. That's the same downhill energy that Jaylen Brown plays with.
Final 2 minutes here. Where are they going to find offense? Derek Lively, it's a 2-point game. Now, on the other end, Drea, is this the biggest shot of the night from Jaylen Brown?
Yes, absolutely. The pump fake in the air, the composure, the elevation, the lift. He knocks it down and created separation.
Mavs, desperation time. Kyrie, no good. We've got a foul. We've got a ball game. The Celtics hang on to win it by 7. They're up 3 games to none. Luka Doncic afterward on the fouls.
What did you think of the whistles that went against you in the fourth quarter?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. We couldn't play physical, so I don't know. I don't want to say nothing, but you know, 6th foul in the NBA Finals, where basically I'm like this. Come on, man, better than that.
All right, so the question is, who needs to be better than that? Is it the officials or is it Luka himself? Brian Windhorst, you were there to watch it. You've seen so many of Luka's games, including many that people in this country have not seen because you follow the international competition, and he's a huge part of that. Wendy, what did we see last night?
Just a tough situation for Luka Doncic to be in that spot. Very, he just can't put himself in that position with the 5 fouls. He had 5 fouls for about 20 seconds. And first possession that he has 5 fouls, he allows himself in a position. And it's stunning that would happen because he hadn't been getting in front of Celtics players the entire night. And that's when he chooses to get in front of the Celtics players, and he looks over to the bench and says it's their fault. Like he says, you better challenge this. And what I'm thinking about, you mentioned international game. This was essentially an elimination game for Luka and the Mavericks. I started thinking back to last year when I was watching him play in Manila, Philippines at the World Cup in an elimination game against Canada. where they're trying to qualify for the Olympics, and he gets ejected from that game because he has a meltdown with the officials, and he's screaming at the Secretary General of FIBA during play as he's getting sent off the field. And then I think two years ago at Eurobasket, where Slovenia is playing a vitally important game against Poland, and he fouls out of that game because he gets a technical foul, which is a personal foul, and he gets knocked out of that game in a 4-point game with 3 minutes to go. And I'm wondering to myself, how many times is this going to happen? How many times is he going to allow his emotions to boil over? He is plus 9 when he's on the court last night, and minus 16 when he's off. When he fouls out with 4 minutes to go, he knows that his team is probably in trouble. And, you know, he's got to be better than this. And he's had this happen repeatedly. And you have to wonder, how many more times is it going to happen before he corrects this? Because this is letting his teams down, whether it's his national team, which is close to his heart, or here is the Dallas Mavericks.
CJ, you've been in the league a long time. He's obviously a great player. No one is questioning the fact that he is about as gifted, certainly on the offensive end, as any player we've seen in the NBA, maybe of all time. But there are a lot of people, the conventional wisdom coming out of last night is that Luka let his team down with his performance, with the fouls, and with the defense. Is it fair to say that?
I think it's fair to say he let his team down, and not just talking about the defense. I'm talking about the fouls. It's well documented that Luka is a terrific offensive player. He's very skilled. He can shoot, he can pass, he can dribble. He's virtually unstoppable. He averaged 35 points per game, and that's with facing double teams. The defense is designed to stop him. But you have to keep yourself on the floor. Regardless of circumstances, in an elimination game, you can't go down 3-0 at the crib. He did that. He let his team down. I thought the fifth foul wasn't a foul, but when you have 5, you can't foul 20 seconds later. It's got to be Olay defense. You got to let him go to keep yourself on the floor. But credit the Celtics. They did a great job of attacking him consistently throughout this series. They've been great at it all season. When we played the Celtics, they put me in almost every action. You got to make a decision whether or not you're going to get a stop. Your team can't bail you out. It's about you, mano a mano. And I think this is the last step in his progression to greatness. It's being average defensively. He doesn't have to ever be great. He just needs to be average. And he's going to win MVPs and do all those things regardless.
There are really 2 separate issues with him here. There's the defense, which we'll get to in a minute. Let's start with the fouls, Drea, because you were telling me it's not the 6th one that is really the problem.
It's not the 6th one. It's not the 5th one. I mean, yeah, that might be Luka calling for some answers defensively.
Luka, hang on a second.
Figure things out. We got to figure it out.
Here this morning on Get Up.
Yeah, listen here. It's not there's the 5th one, right? And so he's frustrated about that one. He wants them to challenge that call. I think that's why he was frustrated, and that's why he was like, challenge it on the 6th foul, because he wanted them to challenge this call. This was the 5th foul. It's a bang-bang play. It could go either way. We understand that. Right now, the 6th foul. Right after the 5th foul, this is also a bang-bang play, but Luka Doncic has never been known for staying in front of anyone defensively. He got beat left and right all night long, and then wants to try and be a hero here and make a defensive play that he simply doesn't make. This is a bang-bang play. Those fouls are not the issue. The fouls that are the issue are fouls number 3 and fouls number 4. So watch this. He goes up for the shot. He's frustrated. This foul is so far away from Boston's basket, and this is one that Luka can't afford to get. He's completely frustrated. He's going for a steal, quote unquote, but he's really not. He's just showing frustration. This was in the 3rd quarter, towards the 3rd quarter. In the 4th quarter, at the beginning of the quarter, he does this against Peyton Pritchard. Again, for no reason, just applying pressure on Peyton Pritchard. He's never been known as someone to pressure the ball at half court. That is a silly foul. And on the 3rd foul and the 4th foul, what does he do after the foul? Yeah. He puts his hands up to the ref like, oh yeah, I know I fouled. It's not a big deal. I'm frustrated. Yep, I did it. And those fouls cost him. If he doesn't pick up those silly fouls, he doesn't get fouled out at the end of the game. And you said it, when you are the focus of a team, the Celtics are constantly attacking him when they're on offense. They're challenging him defensively. You can't afford those silly fouls, those mindless fouls, and those careless fouls. He was so careless in that moment and almost shrugged him off like it didn't matter, and it came back to bite him.
Can we bring it back to something that we all learned at the earlier stage of our career? Like, I had Coach K talk about this all the time. Like, you can't win championships when you have really bad habits. Yep. And you have really bad body language, and then you do a ton of bitching all the time. Like, let's be honest about it. Like, those are 3 things that we associate with Luka on the defensive end, right? Like, offensively, he is prolifically great, but his habits are things that are not really good. And these are the things that we're talking about here. And you're just even seeing, like, these are little things where you're like, hey, man, Get out of your own way. Like, you need to be great. And also, look, Luka got blown by more times in Game 2 of the NBA Finals than any other player in the last 10 years. So you think he's going to come out in Game 3 and all of a sudden be different? When you get tired, CJ, what happens? Your bad habits come out, right? You have to be more intentional with what you do. I think this is a moment of clarity that we're seeing for Luka. We've seen every great player go through it. I know everybody's going to kill Luka today. I hear him defensively, a ton of room of improvement. But we saw MJ and Scottie talk about trust. We saw LeBron James, can you hit the shot down the stretch? We've seen Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown get to NBA Finals and Eastern Conference Finals and not get over the hump. This is the moment where Luka, this offseason, if they're going to lose. Boston's going to win their 18th championship, okay? Yep. He needs to lose weight. Let's be honest about it. He needs to be better defensively. And CJ, you said it. If he could be functional, not good, not great, functional defensively and make sound decisions when his conditioning is better down the stretch for who he needs to be offensively, then he can win a championship. But this is his moment of clarity.
Life comes at you fast.
Really fast. This is it.
A week and a half ago, we were having a conversation on the show. Is Luka Doncic the best player in the world? And today, he is the reason that his team fell down 3-0 last night, despite the fact that they obviously would not have been anywhere near this position without him. So what are the right things to say, Wendy? How do we, in a big picture way, sum up Luka Doncic at this moment?
Well, I think he is maybe one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. And that's why it's frustrating, because he didn't give a winning performance. You know, he can talk about the 5th and 6th fouls. He probably should have gotten 3 or 4 technical fouls last night. The veteran crew that did this game stayed out of giving him technicals. If this was a regular season game, he might have been ejected because of the way he was acting to the officials. How many times did he take himself out of plays where he didn't get back defensively because he was complaining about officiating? This is something that's happening over and over. And he's had to apologize for it and say he's going to do better. But this is the NBA Finals. The standard here is enormous. And that's the thing. The Celtics are a team that has been through the trials and tribulations. They've been through the frustrations, and they've risen above it. They have earned the position that they're in. What we're saying here is this is something that Luka is learning. He needs to use this as a learning experience. This can end up being a positive. I can look into the future and be 2 years from now and see Luka holding the Bill Russell trophy in one hand and the Larry O'Brien trophy in the other and say, you know what, back in 2024, I wasn't ready to win and I had to learn how to do it. That's what I'd like to see. But my thing is, I have now seen this exact script play out repeatedly where in these really important games, he's not on the floor. Can't happen again. Got to be better defensively. He doesn't have to go to the Hall of Fame as a defensive player, but he can't allow himself to be taken out emotionally and physically like he is in this moment.
I'll just very quickly point out that play that we keep showing you there, in case you didn't see it, was one where while he's whining and looking for a call, the entire play goes back the other way, and they give up an uncontested 3. And Doris, to her credit, called him out for it immediately. That's the play that we're showing you.
Sometimes in basketball and sports in general, you need your boys or your peers to say what's really happening, what's going on, a dose of reality. And if I were around Luka, or if you're Kyrie, you're saying to Luka, look, stop listening to people calling you the best offensive player in the world. Let's become the best player in the world. In order for you to become the best player in the world, this cannot be true. The Mavs have a better defensive rating with Luka on the bench than on the floor in every season of his career. That cannot be true. You have to be functional on the defensive end. And in order for that to go next level, that's what we need. That's where you need to go.
That's the question, because he is the leader of this team, right? That's the reality. Unless, what I'm going to ask you here as a longtime NBA veteran is there someone who can say something to him? If so, what? And if they did, would he listen?
I think there's 2 people he'll listen to. Kyrie, because he has a championship, and I think if you look at Kyrie's maturation this season, how he's changed the narrative around his name. You look at what he did in the Western Conference Finals. He was defending at a high level. He was great defensively in the OKC series. He wasn't great offensively because they kind of took him out of the game, but he took steps forward and said, I'm not going to worry about my offense. I'm going to focus on my defense because that's what's going to allow us to win a championship. I think he can have the conversation with Luka, but I think more importantly, Jay Kidd, the Hall of Fame coach, is going to have real conversations with him. You've seen his press conference after the game. He talked about how Luka has to be better defensively because they're targeting him. They're going to continue to target him every year, similar to ways in which I've been targeted throughout my career. You have to make a decision defensively, and you're going to get scored on because it's a make or miss league, and these guys are great. Jaylen Brown's going to score. Jason Tatum's going to score. Drew Holiday, they're going to score, but you have to make it difficult for them to score and force them into tough twos like they did Jaylen Brown down the stretch when he pump faked and shot. But I think it's going to come down to Jay Kidd, Kyrie, and more importantly, himself to dig deep and fight or fold.
I think someone in the game last night also should have told him, like, hey, this isn't working, because we're talking about his defense, right, and the fouls on the defensive side. But even offensively, we saw him continuously try to drive to the basket, take a lot of dribbles, lean into people's bodies, looking for a foul call. How many times did he go to the basket where at times we thought he was getting fouled, but the refs were simply not calling it? And so instead of getting frustrated over and over that you're not getting the foul calls that you're looking for, and instead of doing the same thing over and over, something has to change. And the biggest key for Luka is when he is that frustrated, turning his energy to his teammates. All of that energy, how demonstrative he is, and how he wants to just yell at the referees, yell with excitement to your teammates and allow it to build you up instead of just tear everything down. I felt like he was a huge distraction for the team yesterday, even when the crowd was in it. There were times they're getting back in the game and Luka's still visibly frustrated.
He has 27 points on 27 shots last night, 1 of 7 from 3. And for all the calls that he's looking to get, there were very few free throws attempted in this game, just 30 foul shots between the two teams. So they were letting them play, which I think most of us want to see in the